Okay guys, first of all, I would like to apologize in advance for the bad video. I cannot seem to find my digital camera, so I'm using my cell phone. But I'll see and try to do the best I can do with this particular technology. What you're looking at now are two Romanian G-spec AK-47s. You'll see that one of them is slightly different. It has a different gas block on it. And that's what this video is about today. I'm going to be showing the DEZ adjustable gas block for both the AK-47 and PSL variants. Just got them in, tested them out. They claim that they will allow the PSLs primarily to use heavy ball. I still don't recommend this. The reason I say this is because the back pressure from the heavy ball increasing more barrel pressure can very well blow your primer out of your casing and end up shearing your pin, your firing pin off, or blowing it completely out of the back of the bolt. And in doing so, well, there are no replacement firing pins. You will have to buy a repair kit, which costs around the vicinity of $350, in which case you might as well spend $50 to $100 more and buy yourself a new PSL. So whatever you guys do, don't use heavy ball. The PSLs are not designed for it, no matter what people tell you. Stay under 150 grains. I would not even go to 150 grains even though most of those are light ball ammunition. But just better safe than sorry. Stick to about 147 grain. I use the Bulgarian surplus for plinking ammunition, and it has proven to be quite accurate, around the vicinity of about 1.2 to 1.3 MOA. So anyway, on with the review. The DEZ gas block you see here, and there's a logo on it and everything, and of course, just in comparison, the original gas block. Now I purchased a total of 4 of these, 2 of them for my AKs and 2 of them for my PSLs. So here is the one in particular for the PSL. Now a lot of people want to know the difference. Well, the primary difference is that the AK-47 has a smaller diameter barrel. The AK-47 uses a .592, so it's .592 millimeters, and the PSL will be too large. You won't get proper seal with it, and in which case you'll lose a lot of your gas pressure out of the top, venting in between the crease of where the gas block attaches to your barrel, which is right here, this hollow hole here. So if you're using an AK, make sure you specify to DEZ or whoever you're purchasing it from that you need an AK version, which is a .592. And even at .592, it's still slightly loose fitting. I mean, it's not snug as a bug as the original one. It's like an integral part of the barrel. You have to take a rubber mallet to beat the sucker off of it once you knock the 2 pins out. The PSL uses a larger barrel. As I said, the AK is a smaller barrel. The outer diameter of a PSL barrel is .610. That's .610. So make sure if you're using the PSL, don't get the AK, because it'll be a little bit too tight unless you want to use a rubber mallet to get it on and off. I would not worry about damaging this for beating it on the barrel. I would be more worried about damaging the barrel. This thing, they say, is solid molychrome. I don't know if it's molychrome. It feels like steel to me. This thing is solid mass. I mean, you could use this as a weapon itself. So don't worry about breaking this thing. This thing is much heavier than the original gas block on the AK and the PSL. I weighed the difference between the original gas block and the new gas block with them still on the rifle. And this gas block will increase your overall weight of the AK by almost half a pound, 0.4 pounds to be exact. That's a substantial increase just for a gas block, and that's all going in on the front end of your barrel. So it will make the front end of your rifle significantly and noticeably heavier. A lot of people think that, oh, that's a bad thing. Well, not necessarily. You will actually see yourself increase in accuracy as it will allow you to hold the barrel more stable by having that extra weight up there. Now, in retrospect to that, it will in fact change your acoustics of your barrel. So your impact will change, your accuracy will fluctuate, maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, depending on if you're hand loading specifically to the acoustics of your current barrel or not. To the average shooter, it makes no difference. but you will notice a slight increase in accuracy with a little bit heavier front end. So all in all, it's just a solid chunk of metal. As you can see here, here's the adjustment valve here, and all you do is you just screw it out. Usually you want to take a coin or a screwdriver or something and put it in between there for you to be able to operate a little bit better. And it has a lot of travel. It doesn't take very much to completely set this gas block to the on position or the full position. So, but it just allows that massive amount of travel in order for you to compensating for any errors or whatnot. That way this bolt doesn't blow out from the pressure. And it's just a solid straight shot through, as you can see. Makes it very easy to clean. You can very easily see the you can't see it in the video, but in person you can actually see the little hole where the gas goes through. Very easy to get the pipe cleaners in there, especially after taking that out, the bolt out. Now I've calculated it for everybody that doesn't know. When you screw in, I'm just trying to do this in one hand. When you screw in the bolt to set it to the full open position, this is your locking nut here, but screw it all the way in until you can't screw it in anymore. Make sure that little locking nut right here that I'm unscrewing around it does not get in your way. That locking nut right there. Make sure that doesn't inhibit you from screwing it in anymore. When you crank it, just that bolt all the way down, there you go. Almost. Okay. The bolt is all locked down now. To put this gas block into the full open position, you simply do 15 half turns. And you do half turns because your barrel is going to get in the way. You can't do a full 360-degree turn because your barrel is going to get in the way, as you can see here. So what I do is I just place my thumb here, and, well, it's actually going opposite here. Let me unlock it here. There we go. So say, for instance, this was already locked all the way in. You would take your finger, just place it right here, or a screwdriver, however you see fit, and you would turn it just a half turn. Not a quarter turn, but a full half turn. 15 times. And that will completely open up this gas piston. For half gas open, well, you do the math. 15 divided by 2 equals what? That'll put you at half gas capacity. This also allows you, when you crank it all the way in, to completely shut the gas off and have it function like a bolt-action rifle. You just have to chamber each round. Particularly useful if you want to shoot an AK-47 with hand loads that are subsonic ammunition. That way you have completely silent operation other than your sear slapping around and your hammer being popped or popping the firing pin. So all in all, good little gas block. I have not tested it yet. It was a pain in the ass to get this front side off. Rubber mallet didn't work, so I used a regular hammer, and as you can see, it kind of scarred up the finish pretty good. I have to re-blue that, which I'll just use cold blue for that. You will notice a gap here. No biggie. And it does not pin back into place like a normal gas block. As you can see here, it's held in to place by pressure screws. So you have 2 on the bottom and 1 on each side. Just use some red Loctite, crank those suckers down, get them in there. To align your hole, your actual gas hole, with the one on your barrel, of all things, I used a piece of an incense stick. And if it was loose enough to where I could waddle it around left, right, up, and down, then I was dead on. It put it at just the right angle with a little incense stick, back of an incense stick, to allow me to marry the 2 holes for the gas piston up to the barrel. And so far it seems to work perfectly. Like I said, I have not tested it just yet. That is the next step. Once I get these gas blocks put on, the 2 PSLs and the other AK, as you see down here. So if you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them on the page or send me a personal message. I'll be glad to help anybody else that needs help. If you want an idea of where you can get these from, gunbroker.com. Selling for about $79 a pop now.